Welcome everyone. I am Puff. And motherfucker, I'm playing Elden Ring. This is going to be a long one. I decided that I should probably play a game for long term. Get an audience, something that is easy for me to stream. Way back when I started, and one of the first games I played was Another Crowd's Treasure. I referenced that I'm much better at Elden Ring than that. Well, kind of prove that that's not bullshit. Tab into the game, and ooh, I should probably turn this just a little bit down, just a little. Okay. Yeah, sounds good. All right, new game. Ugh, shit. Let's see, who should I play? What should I play? I mean, I've played a lot of these classes a shit ton. I've had like hundreds of hours in this game, but let's see. What should I play? You know what? Something easy. Astrologer. Puff. No. Hold on. Galamastia. There we go. Alright, now let's see. Body type B, young, astrologer, keepsake. Let's no. Let's just keep this. Alright, detailed appearance. I have a few of these ready. It's just down to what I want to choose. Oh my. Anyway, Who do you think this is? How about you? Yeah. Actually, nah. Why not you? Alternatively, you. Yeah, I like this one. Alright then. Pretty good. Alright then, chat. Alright, let's hop on. I'm not skipping the cutscenes anyway. You know, when I first heard about this game, I didn't even realize it was Soulsborne. All I saw was Wayne Radio TV playing a game called Elden Ring, and I thought, "Yo, is that a new Elder Scrolls game?" I thought, because I was not tapped into this game whatsoever when prior to its release. But let's just say that it didn't take me long. Within the first month I got the game, and I've played a fuck ton of it ever since.
Marika's offspring, demigods all, claimed the shards of the Elden Ring. The mad taint of their newfound strength triggered the shattering.
Head guy, head guy. You know, I only now realize that that was his head.
From which no lord rose.
Ooh.
A war leading to abandonment.
You know,
By
this
the
picture would
grace
make you think that she is the plucky underdog, but no, she is.
rise now, ye tarnished,
Anyway,
ye dead who yet live. The call
a lot of
of
dead
long
MFers.
lost grace speaks to us all.
I
Horrible,
wonder what led him to this
chieftain of the
situation.
Badlands,
I don't know.
the ever-brilliant Goldmar,
I remember when he wasn't originally in the intro and crazy shit.
the deathbed companion,
Cool.
the loathsome Dung-Eater,
The Grace Kakatsuma. The.
and Sir Gideon
You get the
Oblivion,
idea.
the all-knowing.
The insane excrement ingester. The frenzied fecal feaster.
One other whom grace would again bless.
The guan.
Tarnish
The garish guano gobbler. The hellish hot sloppy hoarder.
cross the fog to the lands between.
I just only now realized that it actually does use our model.
Stand before the Elden Ring
Because I usually skip this intro, you know?
and become the Elden Lord.
The number 2 nibbler, the nefarious number 2 nibbler. Nibbler. As in from Futurama. Single, single female lawyer. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Here again. Oh, fuck. Wrong button. Try jumping. Okay. I'm not gonna do that. Whoa, wait a minute. I don't know why. Right button running and dodging. And bottom button is jumping. I don't know why, but I'm for some reason feeling like I'm not supposed to be doing that. No, this is jump. Alright, so what do you want to do? Do you genuinely want to try this, or what? Let's be honest, we're... This ain't gonna end with us winning. But we can do a decent amount of damage. Let's see if we can get him... Oh, shit! Oh, shit! It's a rat! And we can no longer win. Alright, let's do this with grace. Yeet! Yippee! 10 minutes in, we're already dead. Woo! I woke up in a new Ferrari. What you looking at? Mother Teresa? Oi, Herrera, the fatty fat bear. Oi. Be right back. You know, me saying random memes is not me trying to be quirky or something like that. That's just for real how my autism works. I got that soundboard tism. I got that tism that made me go. I got that dog. I got that dog. I got that dog. Type shit. 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 Yo. Oh. Tarnished. Bitch. Maidenless. Cringe. Twinge doodoo gobbler. Tarnished. Cringe bitch. Fuck you, Varde. I'll see you later so I can level, okay? I have no idea what you're talking about. Send Moog my regard. How the fuck do they know about Luminary Moog? I should consider this perhaps a threat, possibly even. Anyways, as much as one would want to kill that guy, it's actually inadvisable since that's actually how you get like the best farming spot in the game. I got that dog. Anyway, type shit. Hey, let's take off this helmet. I mean, this hat. This shit cringe. Speaking of which. You see, there's only one thing I agree with Elon Musk on, which is a crazy thing to say. Putting them here. And you might say, but you need to press 2 buttons. Bitch, do you think I want to go, hold on, to choose which one I heal with? I have to take my eyes off of it or have to put parts of my brain to remembering. This one? Nope. This is just, like, muscle memory, which I have cultivated. Speaking of which. Hi, Kale. Hi, Hobo Santa. POV is Santa, like, 360 days a year. Ho, 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 it's me, Santa Claus. Santa that other 5 days a year. What if Santa's a procrastinator, and so he does everything in, like, a small amount of time? Oh, maybe that's why he delivers all the presents to all the world's children in one night. Technically, it'd be advisable if he did it over several nights. But motherfucker really said, I'll do it later. Nah, I'll do that shit later. Nope, later. And then one was like, oh my god, I have one night. Oh my god. Anyway. Cosmo, Wanda, I want that drink obliterated. Debbie, we can't kill people. I don't fucking care. I wish for the twink obliteration machine. If you can't do it for me, I'll do it myself! Ah, Timmy Turner! I finally have proof that you have any godparents and oh my god, I'm getting obliterated! Ah, pretty lenient on what Twink is. Well, Timmy, since we just remembered that we used to be his godparents, I remember when he was a twink. Wasn't he ever a child? This joke is now removed. Ignore everything I just said in the past few seconds. Cosmo Wanda wants you to release the Epstein files. Timmy Turner! What are you saying? I can't do that? I'm saying you can't meddle in world politics. One of their previous godchildren caused World War I and by extension 2. So we can't. You know, it's a really bad look that an old guy is. That an old, really aggro guy is is against releasing the Epstein files. What are you, a Republican? Never mind, I changed my mind. Release that shit right now. Holy shit! Dinkelberg is in the files! Timmy, I have proof that my hatred of Dinkelberg is now valid. And now with this, I'm going to break into his house and take everything and kill everyone he loves. And this time I won't get sent to jail for it. Also, I love my wife. I love my wife. I want to build some castles with my wife. I want to become Elden Lord with my wife. Wife. I love my wife. I love my wife. Greetings, Tarnished. I heard that joke that you were telling where you were doing impressions of Timmy Turner characters, and I thought it was so funny. I'm going to now marry you. It's pronounced, it's Charlie Parents, not Timmy Turner. I don't give a fuck. A Honda Accord. We were going to give you a Civic, but that fell through. Finger maidens. No, 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 no. Finger maidens. No, 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 no. Finger maidens. I don't think so. I don't think so. Mr. Krabs. Mr. Krabs. Mr. Crab, what are you doing? Squidward. The Crabstein files were released. What do you mean? Mr. Squidward? You now run the Cookie Crab. Just, don't tell anybody that I was here. Oh, thank you. Why do I smell gasoline? Oh my god. 5 hours earlier. Finally, I've grabbed the Krabby Patty formula! And now I get with it. I can rule the world by taking over the food market somehow. That works. I don't know. Uh, Damn it! This isn't the Krabby Patty formula. Well, it's still hidden pretty safely. Took me a while to actually get it out. So it's probably something of importance. The Crabstein files? Oh my goodness! Sponge Boy, me Bob, I know you've heard about the Crabstein files. I want you to understand, me boy. They're all fake. They're all fake news invented by Plankton. But Mr. Krabs, I saw the pictures of you and that little girl. Don't worry, it's an AI deepfake, SpongeBob. But let me tell you about something way more pressing. King Neptune. He's peddling. He's peddling fat into Bikini Bottom. That's why for the past few weeks I've been destroying. I've been having you and Patrick destroy chariots of the king. Good job making sure no one survived and nothing was left. We don't want any of it getting out of there. Yeah, I'm curious about that, Mr. Crab, because someone was saying that if anything was left, we could actually prove that they really were peddling drugs into the Bikini Bottom. Don't worry, my boy. It's definitely true, because I would never lie to you. Anyway, my boy, I think it's high time that we finally get back at them. I need you, me boy, to capture King Neptune. Mr. Krabs, I didn't know you were interested in politics. Well, actually, it's actually because, oh, I have something to admit, SpongeBob. I'm interested in his reserve of gold, which is the largest reserve of gold in the world, in the seven seas. Oh, is that all? Yep, that's definitely all. There definitely is literally no other reason for why I would want you to do this right at this moment. Hmm. What do you think, Patrick? Make Bikini Bottoms great again. I believe him. Good to hear me, boy. Ow. What, do you think they'll follow? I hope they don't. Okay, let's go. I love going into a fucking fugue state and saying random bullshit. I've heard that streamers need a niche, and my niche is that I am fucking insane. You know, it's really odd that they put that there to make you come closer to him because you'd already hear him. Look at that beautiful face. The beautiful baby boy.
When they threw
He's a
themselves
beautiful boy. He's a growing boy.
could sink into the cave, and I'd be right.
This man looks like... Man looks like he's about to get really curious. And... Anyway. I think it'd be really funny if we were playing a randomizer and suddenly Radagon was right there. I mean, it was really funny when Wayne did it. Because, like, there he was, doing normal Wayne Radio TV solution things. And then all of a sudden, Radagon is in the first fucking dungeon. And him and all of his friends suddenly went, "It's Radagon!" Anyway. Okay, first combat encounter, that's for real, for real, for real, for real. Damn it. Okay, fuck, I fucked it up, I fucked it up! Bunch boy me, Bob, I fucked that shit up real good. Real bad. It's pretty bad, my boy. Alright, we got him. Fucking yeah! Woo! Hooray! Hooray! Hip hip hooray! Let's level the fuck up. Oh, hold on. Now bone. Alright. Now bones. I want to learn sorcery! Witches are cool! Anyway. Say hello to Sorceress Selin. And she is selling us some shit. Take a long walk off a short cliff. I said that to myself. I say that to myself every morning. It is probably a problematic thing to do. Anyway. Now, I'm gonna have to, kind of hold back on some of my, speedrunning tendencies with this game. Because I kind of sort of need to play this game, you know? I'm not gonna hold off on all of them. Okay. Ah, this is it. Awoo. 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 I just thought of a funny thing. So the word thalassophobics means you're afraid of the deep, but would thalassosexual mean that you're attracted to the deep? A long time ago, I made a joke about getting in a relationship with a deep sea with a deep sea insanity inducing MILF. And then I realized something. That's just straight up fucking Cthulhu. Well, if Cthulhu was a woman. I mean, you don't know. Cthulhu doesn't have a fucking gender. Tarnished. Cthulhu's gender is omni fucking present. It is not a question of one or the other or any possible number of it. It is a Cthulhu's gender is a state of is a state of being of several genders that cannot be comprehended by human minds, by neither human nor conservative minds. Also, oops, I'm letting the speedrunning shit take over. Oopsie daisy. Anyway, did we even make that one guy chase after us? No, because we so fast we just yippee. Yeah. Okay. Shit. Alright. 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 Please buy food from me. I'm so fucking hungry. Is that so? You fucking caught me, you bitch. But listen, I need money to feed my vet addiction. And they're already gone. Fentanyl ring. Fentanyl ring. Oh my god. Technically it's pronounced fentanyl ring, but I like saying, I mean, fentanyl? Fuck off! Fuck! Yeah, I did get scared anyway. Technically it's pronounced fentanyl, but I like to say just fentanyl. I like to just say fentanyl. Why? I don't know, it's easy to say. Do you know what JILF stands for? God, I love fentanyl. Remember, chat, do not do drugs. Say no to yes and pizza to drugs. Oh, wait, hold on. You know what? Nah, whatever. Okay, we could go a lot of places. We could. But I'm not interested. Wait, hold on. We do gotta do a small thing. We do gotta just, like, a little bit of trolling. A mild-mannered amount of trolling. Hello, Kale, my good friend. We just met. This is the first time I've met you, but okay. Ah, yes, you see. Anyway, goodbye. You know, it's sad. I've kind of forgotten this man's name. Let's see. Let's think. Let's see. I remember him having a name that boggles the American mind. Greetings, Tarnished. I've come to consume the orphans. You know, I did kind of expect a few different things to happen in Maxor's Elden Ring series that just kind of sort of didn't happen. Also, my eyes! However. Ah, Blythe. Anyway, I totally expected like Blythe to show up near the end and they'd have a dramatic scene where he'd be like, "Tarnished, I've been holding back all this time. For you see, Ronnie is an orphan. And you know how I get around orphan. I was always destined to consume her, yet I could not. This desire for orphans stems from the fact that there was one orphan that I could never eat. But Tarnished, I can no longer hold myself back. I am going to I'm going to eat her, Tarnished. And there's nothing you can do about it." And it'd be like all like dramatic and shit. Man, shut up. Wait, hold on. They're crucified. Merry Christmas! Just kidding, just kidding. I'm Christian. Just kidding. Anyway, hold on. Ah, my eye. Fuck. Oh, God. I got a little bit of dust in my eye. I also, like, kind of expected Barney Beekeeper to, be the voice actor for Melania. When we did finally get to Melania. Just, dude, take fucking aggro off this guy. Take him already. Rigmarole. Oh, you bitch. I had no room. Hold on, I think I might need to be right back for just a quick second. Alright, I'm back. Alright. I'm gonna let Bro Aura farm for a minute. Stop Aura farming! Fuck.
This cell is no true justice. Now, this is where it ends.
I fucking hate Bloodhound Knights, you know? They're annoying as... They're fucking annoying, dude. You wanna talk annoying? Can't wait till we fucking fight. What's his fuck again? Stand the fuck still! Alright, cool. Alright. Alright, we got his ass. Chat, we got him. Woo! Hooray! 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 I mean, a reason why I went back to the 2D VTuber model is that one, it actually moves its mouth, and two, I've been using my phone as a webcam, but the problem is, it really starts to overheat, which kinda is a problem. Like, I'd rather not my phone explode into a bajillion pieces. Anyway, chat, would you like to see a very funny speedrunning strat? It's not a... I keep calling this shit speedrunner strats, but... honestly, they're just more like basic level, like... ways for you to path your way in. Anyway, if you go here, you will end up here. Technically, you would need to do a different thing to be told you can come here, but that's not important, though. What is important is that we're gonna fucking ignore all of this shit. Ignore that guy. No, this area is important not because of that, but because of something else. Um, I'm... One of the easiest ways to get a shit ton of runes early on is to kill Grail. Grail. But to do that early on, you need to have Bleed. Which, unfortunately, chat, we do not have. I mean, technically, I think there's like... No, wait, no, yeah. I don't think there's any skill that you can get to... I don't think there's any sort of, sorcery you can get that does bleed. Unfortunately. No, wait, I mean, there is... I mean, there are the Briar ones, but the problem with those is that that's later in the game. And if we're talking about, like, passing all the way there to get those to come back here and kill her, you're kind of already... You're kind of already making the point of her kind of useless. And also, you can already just, you know, take a sharp, pointy stick that does a little bit of bleed and just stand right next to her at a specific point and just start cutting. Oh, hold on. Yeah, sure. Let's get the fuck out of here. You know, I'm kind of starting to wish that I had chosen a different kind of character for this run. For this run. Maybe a much heavier character, because there is a part of the DLC that I do not fucking enjoy. I mean, I generally didn't really enjoy the DLC period, but the specific parts specifically, you know? Especially, I mean. Alright, chat, okay. I walked past the aura farming MFer. It's like, I'm aura farming. Yeah, we know you are anyway. Buy the thing. Oh, fuck, you can't buy the thing yet. Because you need money. Money, chat. Money. Which we don't really have. But we can at least basically be like, yo, what's up? Your staff is a massive fucking letdown. Because, like, you would think that this is the guy, that weapon would basically be the catalyst that allows you to cast both incantations as well as, you know, yeah. But no, apparently that's too much to ask for. Whatever. Let's see if we can fight this guy. I don't know, it might be a little difficult. I don't know, depending on how much he dodges. Okay, he's dodging. Shit. Oh, fuck, that hit. Oh, fuck. I feel like staying close to him might be the key to actually getting your shots to hit. Because at a closer range, he'll be trying to set up for a hit. Of course, then there's the downside. Fuck of that. You know, if we really needed those runes, we really could have just done something else. Fair enough. Anyway, we don't need to come back here for a while because technically there's the Dectus medallions, but we're not gonna grab those yet. Different path than we usually take. Oh, I just fucking heard something. I swear to God. I'm turning down my fucking headset because Jesus. Fucking yee ass, like, Slender Man type shit. Oh boy, I'm sure glad I'm not playing a fucking horror game. Yeah, I'll play more fucking Five Nights at Freddy's fucking fan games. God forbid Graveyard Shift at Freddy's. Oh my god. Anyway, you know, my viewers wouldn't even get that fucking reference. But whatever. Type shit, type shit, type shit, type shit, type shit. If it fat party whack, give the dog a bone. I'm on my way. I'm on my way. I'm on my way. I'm on my way. Type shit. Alright, we passed the dogs, past the dogs, past the dogs. Ramses. Past the dogs, past the dogs, past the dogs. Man, I swear to God, that shit was on another level. A generational other level of fear. I swear. Like, you can ask a person who watched Courage the Cowardly Dog as a kid, who's this, which monster from the show scared them the most? You'll get a lot of answers, but you'll commonly get King Ramses, because holy fuck. You know, I swear to God, sometimes I have dreams that are weirdly in depth and like story like. And then sometimes I have absolute fucking garbage dreams with no meaning. Like, that's the fucking worst feeling, like, having a dream about, like, a deep story that exists nowhere else. Nowhere else. And then you fucking wake up the next morning and, oh, I've forgotten basically all of it. Like, one of them, all I can remember is, for some reason it was anime, which, cool. Like, how common is it to have dreams where it's in an art style that in a non-real life art style, you know? Because that's what I fucking remembered. Also, like, I don't know, like, it's like, ah, yes, we have control over the population or something. With this, I don't know, I control your mind as, like, person, like, pop star person. And then one of the people who's running the things is aura farming and like, ah, yes. And then ultimately she becomes infatuated with it too. which I find like I don't know. I don't know, dude. I be having dreams about anime type shit that don't exist. Sometimes, I swear to God. If there's a if magic was really real, and I could become a fucking mage, which technically I can. Technically I can, but it's called being a scientist. True. But like full ass magic, I feel like you'd be interested in pursuing one based on dreams and shit. Now, if you did that a lot faster, you could have grabbed it and dipped. But I was slow this time, so oops. How far do I gotta go to make him shut the fuck up? Also, I think I did accidentally just start let the speedrunner demons take over because I'm in Liurnia now. I'm in Liurnia, which great. That's one thing I love about this game. I feel like you can really adventure and explore the world. Adventure, like unlike other Soulsborne games where it's like, okay, so you want this item, well, first you got to beat up this guy. First you got to beat up this guy and this guy and this guy. But because of the fact that it's an open world game, you can get items a lot earlier and really start to customize your character. It's really cool. However, chat, the question of the day, an idea I've had a bit is how many bosses do you need to beat in Elden Ring to beat the game? How many? So to beat the game, you need to have beaten Radagon slash Elden Beast, which is an endeavor on its own. And chat, you're gonna fucking hate me. I'm deleting this character right the fuck now. I mean, we've only really put like 51 minutes into it. So it's really no big deal if we're gonna end up being like, because like we already have a fuck ton of characters that are mages, Like, look, we have a bunch of fucking characters. Look, delete this bitch. All right, we're restarting again. Cause fuck me, why not? Okay, one run I have not done is shit. What am I gonna name this character? I don't know. Modelo? No. I'm trying to think. Tchaikovsky. Let's think. Okay, I got an idea. Sure, random name. Like a very random choice of name, but fuck it, here we are. Tchaikovsky, why the fuck not? Let's see. Age, warrior, or appearance, load favorites. Yeah. Alright, let's actually start now. All of that was foreplay. All of that was foreplay. Because I've done runs where I'm a mage. I've done runs where I'm a cleric. I've done runs where I'm where I'm the big, strong tank guy. I have done a fuck ton. Yet one I've rarely done and never completed is one where I am, you know, what's the word? Just give me. There we go. Is one where I am this. You know what? Fine. Plus, it means we can kill Grail earlier, you know? Yippee! Hooray! Alright, let's see what we got. Ouchie douchie. I forgot. And I'm dead. I love dying! So good. Sweet Caroline. Bum bum bum. Anyway, chat, we're gonna fucking increase the amount of speedrun power tenfold so we can get this shit done really quick and get back to what we were doing. I'm surprised it took us like that long. Probably because we were, you know, actually trying to listen, just experience the world before I suddenly let the speedrunning kick in. Well, we're not doing that this time. We're making a fucking mad dash. Let's get this shit. So I just be going, I just be going, I just be going. Chat, I just be going. Anyway, so yeah, back to when I was trying to remember. Oh yeah, right. So to beat the game, you need to beat Radagon, which is the main reason I decided to come back and do this, because I remember trying to fight Radagon as a fucking mage or a cleric is kind of bullshit, because the bitch can just say, that magical spell you got there, it's gone. Plus, I've also just never done this one before, so hey, why not? Sometimes I have small spasms where I'm just like, yeah, I just need to do shit. Just spasm in emotion. Anyway, so to beat the game, you need to beat him. But to get there, you need to first beat Godfrey / Horaloo. And to get to him, you need to beat Sir Gideon Ofnir, the All-Knowing. And to get to him, you need to go through Leyndell, the Ashen Capital. To do that, you need to beat Malekith. To do that, you need to get to his boss arena. To do that, you need to first be in. You need to get past the Godskin duo, and that's in, and all of this is in an area that can only be accessed once you've beaten the fucking fire giant. And to beat the fire, and to get to him, you need to have you need to be in the fucking Mountaintops of the Giant area. And to do that, which thankfully you don't need to beat up any specific bosses to get through it, but you just need to beat a boss to get to it. You have to defeat Morgott. And to do that, you need to get to his boss arena, which is in Leyndell, the Golden Capital. And to do that, you need to first first fight the Draconic Tree Sentinel. And that chat, but to but I didn't mention something, but I'll get to that in a minute. Chat, you think that would be where it would end. However, there is one thing. To make sure that you don't make a solid beeline straight to him, the game made it to where that you need to obtain 2 runes to get there. In the game there are several runes that all gotten from beating a boss, but this would require. However, our numbers and choices are thin. Going from in order. First you have Godric. Now the problem with Godric is that I'm gonna be right back for just a minute. I gotta go be right back. Alright, I'm back. I was thinking about tanks, because I fucking love tanks. Even though I know it's not necessarily that big to stream, but I still kind of want to stream fucking War Thunder. Maybe I should start streaming more War Thunder, you know? Yeah, maybe I should. You know, like, then when I do shit on War Thunder, people will be like, wow, look at you, you're good at games! Or being like, you fucking suck at video games! Both are, these are not mutually exclusive, by the way. Fresh. I have bad teeth because I'm 50% British. Haha. Okay, but no, seriously. Anyway, shit. Okay, fuck. Remember. Okay, reminded. Bing bang boom bam boom boom boom. Ah, any fucking way. Okay, so there are several ways to get a rune, but here's some of them. First, Godric, which, unfortunately, Godric's off the table. And oh, sorry, I didn't mean to press that. Also, British, kindly British. Technically, this is English. I can't really recognize the specific areas where accents are from because I'm not from fucking England. Anyway. Like, yeah, anyway, hold on. Alright, so. Back to work. To get to Godric, you need to have defeated Margit the Fell. Margit the Fell Omen, which is a boss, and then get to Godric, so 2 bosses. Renala, who is the second easiest, requires that you beat, well, a boss. Let's see, Red Wolf of Radagon. Red Wolf of Radagon. Red Wolf of Radagon. Also, by the way, want to see something pretty? Beautiful. Anyway, um, anyway. Yeah, yippee! Hooray! Anyway, let's see, Red Wolf of Radagon, and technically there's an optional boss too, but whatever. And then there's Radon, who we'll get back to him later. And then there are 3 more? I feel like there's one more aside from that. Give me a second to think. Let's see, Rykard, Melania, Moog, Great Runes, uh, fuck. Oh, right. Morgott. Right. Also, I think there's also the Mending Rune of the Death Prince, which we're not even gonna include because I don't even know if that's one that can actually be used to even, yeah. Also, nice armor, pal. That is actually really cool armor. Hold on. That's some good shit armor I just saw. That's some good shit. Hold on. That armor is the good shit, indeed. Okay, enough bullshit. Back to what we were doing. Did we grab the one that was right here? I'm pretty sure we did. We'll have to worry about that later. Anyway, so moving on. Okay, obviously you can't get more Morgotts because you need to beat Morgott first. So you're kind of in a bit of a loop with that one. Rykard. Well, he has two ways that you can to get to him. His boss fight, which would then lead to you claiming his rune. You need to do. Oh my god! Fucking let me the. Okay. You have one of two options. A, you can go through the dungeon, through the dungeon area. Oh, there it is. Laskia. Laskia. Lassica. I'm gonna say Lassica. You need to go through his dungeon, which involves a boss against the fucking against the Godskin Noble, which, oh my god. Or you could beat a bunch of NPC bosses, which a boss is a boss. If there's a health bar, it's a boss. Hesselbar. Melania requires a lot from you, but most importantly, it requires that you get to. Well, let's just say this. If up here is what. Right, I can't. It's not going to show me it yet. It requires that you get to the same grand lift that gets you to the mountaintop of the giants, so it's kind of a dead endeavor anyway. Which leaves us with one more. Mogwin. Mog, whatever. Now, you would think that Mog would just be another bad option. Since to get to him in the intended way, well, not intended, but the main way would be you have to find a portal and it's a funny name. In the consecrated snowfield, which is an area you can only get to and by first getting to the fucking same lift that takes you to the mountaintops of the giant. But there's a second way. If you have already defeated, if you've already defeated one of the great lore of if you already claimed one great rune, which trust me, we'll get to, then then you can go speak with the fingers, and then did they patch that out? I feel like it was a lot easier back in the day. Anyway, you can talk, which then allows you to talk to Vade and basically say, "Yo, Vade, what's up?" And be like, tarnished. What did you think about them? Anyway, if you talk smack about them, this will allow you to this will allow you to begin a quest line, which basically just requires that you first get the blood of a maiden, which a lot easier than it sounds, and then either play, not required to win, a bunch of PvP battles or uh or a fake PvP battle. I'm not sure if the fake one has a boss health bar in the bottom, but either or, you get through this, and he'll basically give you the option to go to Moog's palace. And once you do, you're basically free to head up to Moog and fight him. But remember, to fight Moog, you first need to even start this thing. You need to have gained a rune. So what do you do? Well, remember how I said put a pin in Radon? To fight Radon, you need just simply to have been to Lane Dell. At which point the mini dungeon that his boss resides in is essentially on holiday, and you're allowed to go in and fight Radon. So, in other words, we have the perfect number here, which just by doing that, you're able to so perfectly keep the number of bosses required to beat the game extremely low. All at the cost of the fact that not only are you planning on beating the game without beating the bosses, which means you're probably going to have to do a lot of leveling that doesn't require, which thankfully for you, there's a lot of options to do it, which I'll introduce you to in a moment. By the way, we're back where we were, kind of. Kind of. Um. Anyway, but the first two bosses you do fight are fucking Radon and Mogwin, which definitely a plan. Yeah. Anyway, thankfully, beating Mog and Radon is actually coincidentally also the bosses you need to beat in order to even start the DLC. So let's talk about that. To beat the DLC, you need to beat Radon the second time. Spoilers for the DLC. Who cares? To do that, you need to have gotten through the group fight, which no matter what, you're gonna need to do that fight. It just so happens to be that that you can make it easier or not, or harder, however you want. However you what. You what. Why are we here? Good question. Good question. Next question. Alright then, let's see. Parents are home. Anyway, to get to them, you need to get to through a dungeon. And to do that, you need to get to the dungeon. To do that, you need to unlock the dungeon, to do that, you need to defeat Romina. And to do that, you need to get to Romina. To do that, you need to... A lot of things that... Look, it's basically just a straight shot. It's nowhere near as complicated as the thing where Godon and Morgott, in order to beat the game with as little bosses beaten as possible. Deja vu, I think I've been to this place before. Yippee! Hooray! Hooray! Ow. My bad. Bro has seen God. Anyway, POV, you ask your homie if he opened up the Ark of the Covenant, and he tells you no. Hold on. Anyway, back to what I was doing. Sorry, I had to talk to someone. You know what? Fuck it. Going on our own merit. Close your eyes, young BSC. Anyway. Alright, so, moving on. Sorry, I got completely in my head think about random shit. I gotta remind myself that I'm actually streaming and not just talking to myself in my brain, or just talking to myself with no one here. So I can't just go non-verbal and just think about random shit for a while. I actually have to, you know, do stuff. Which, yeah, being a streamer is definitely a hard job. Okay then. Among Us is Jongus. Big Chungus. Okay, we'll return to this spot in just a second. We just gotta go visit a certain blood obsessed fiend. Okay. Essentially, okay. The easiest way to kill Grail is through bleed. Because bleed is quite common and isn't necessarily that intensive on your skills, on your stats. Whereas something like rot or poison is less so. So in other words, a bazooka. What? I don't know, dude. I just be saying words and shit. I am the storm that is a project provoking. Oh yeah, my heart is beating. Hold on. Neri juice. Now we could make this easier, but let's not. You can be easily staggered out of that, which is kind of funny. Oh right, yeah, right. Ur will be summoned automatically, so we can just wait him out rather than fighting him directly. I forgot about that. I really would love it if I actually had a chat to actually talk to. Because the problem is that I can't just talk about random shit to myself that has nothing to do with this, because then chat's gonna be like, what the fuck are you talking about? Because in the possibility that I do get a chat, but but I, but I'm kind of sort of reliant on chat to say stuff. You know, you get what you put into it. But you know, I kind of sort of don't have a chat. So what gives? Well, until I get an actual chat member who pipes up, or at all, I think I'll kind of sort of have to just sort of. I think I'm basically free to just start talking random shit, you know? Fuck it, we're talking about tanks. So, in World War II, what country that made, what domestic tank making country had the, specifically of the, oh my god, I'm terrible, I'm terrible. You had healing, you could have healed at any time. Yeah. Some tells me I'm a little sloppy right now. I don't know, whether or not I even continue this depends on how many views this gets. And I can hope that maybe if another chat shows up again, I can, if there's an actual chat that will make commentary, we can kind of sort of be, I can kind of sort of be like, ooh. Otherwise, I'm just playing the game I've played 100 times again, but this time televised. which is not necessarily a great thing. Just need to remember that the best tip for playing these kind of games, even though this is technically not a turn-based RPG, treat it like one. They make their attack, you respond. Buddy, I know you're over there. Come on in. Oh, for fuck's sake, finally. Alright, do you have this ability? Now we're just bullying him. Fucking... What the Dude, maybe I should actually heal and... Oh, great, you're gonna have thought to have done that a little earlier, you know? I don't feel like doing that again. Let's go level up. Alright, let's go talk about leveling up early. Now, we could just beat these guys up, but we technically already done that, so... That's boring to me. You know, anyway, but yeah, at least talk about tanks. Finish your thought about tanks, and if I continue to not feel like continuing this, I won't, and I'll stop it for the night. I might continue it later at another time, but yeah. Alright, tank stuff. So, of the 6 main countries of World War II, which had the best tanks? Because there were a lot of countries that made tanks, like Poland, Hungary, you know, so on, so on. But we're not going to include all of those because, well, most of them only made a small handful of tanks and were immediately knocked out of the war. Cool. I'm instead mainly focusing on America, United States, Britain, the Soviet Union, Germany, Japan, and Italy. On who had the best tanks. Now, I want to make it clear that also I really hope my mic was on that whole time because my thing was down. But anyway, I want to make it clear that as far as countries' tanks, I don't want it to sound like that they were just bleeding idiots who had no idea what they were doing. Even if sometimes they were. I want to make it clear that every country had an idea going in, and they were gonna act upon that, you know? But there's still clearly a worse country as far as tanks in World War II. And no surprise, it's Italy. The problem, the main problem is that World War II is a war of... Whoa, that was a lot faster than usual. Is a war of economics, you know? Well, that's every war, really. Fair enough. Also, man, how the fuck did that hit me? Ah, fuck, I missed. Okay, finally, we staggered them. Fuck your poise. Fuck your protein powder. Okay, what next? Anyway. Anyway. And Italy was not doing good when it came to economy. The World War II was kind of a war of ideals, you know? And said ideals, both are what drove them to war in the first place, and are ultimately what their war machines will be built upon. And we can kind of see different things done, depending on what country. America and Britain were both the moderates of the war, you could say. They were both liberal democracies, capitalistic. I say liberal democracies, but, well, Britain was a constitutional monarchy, and, yeah, and America was a liberal democracy, or republic, or whatever. Either or, both of them were capitalistic states. Which are kind of sort of random when it comes to economy. But they both kind of have the upside that both of them are large, strong nations, especially America, which were able to pull themselves out of the Great Depression due to much needed relief. As a result, America would, along with the fact that America is huge, they would have a lot of resources to use during the war. Britain didn't really have the positive of being a giant country. I mean, it's certainly large, but it's not United States large. And I don't know what their response is to the Great Depression or their own Great Depression that they likely had was, since I know Britain did have an economic downturn in the 30s. So imagine it kind of being a little bit worse off, but still not bad. Now, the interesting part is Germany and Japan. Fascism has an attribute where it can basically cause it allows for corporations to work closely with the state. Like, and I you could say that a lot of countries do that, but under fascism, it's a bigger part. Anyway, another part of it is that it's kind of sort of it's like a boost to economy that is short and at the cost of everything, you know, social well-being, civil rights, basically everything. But if you're a powerful nation with a powerful economy and you want a quick burst of energy, specifically a burst of energy to be placed solely into your military, which fascists are great at doing, then there you go. Unfortunately, that's predicated on the idea that the nation in question already has a large economy. Both Germany and Japan were kind of sort of known for being really good at industrializing. Germany was one of the most industrialized countries in Europe, and Japan had pretty much industrialized to such a level that European countries were having to seriously consider it as an equal in some measures. Mainly in war. And their economy did exactly as it says. Italy doesn't have this. Italy was never a large industrial superpower. The country was largely agrarian and rural. Even once you leave southern Italy and Sicily, they were still running on rural on a largely rural populace. So no, Italy did not have the ability to really make a large war effort, especially tanks, which is best seen in how poorly they did. Now, if they were communist, this might have been this. If they became communist in the 20s, this might have been fixed because several communist nations have shown that they can actually modernize relatively quickly. Take Russia, that went from a very behind the times, similarly very rural country, and suddenly, bang, you have a country large with a large enough economy that's putting out 85,000 T-34s. Or China, which similarly was also very agrarian, and then boom, everything's made in China. Which one could say that that second part is because they've had time, but they've kind of had. Hold on, BRB. I'm back. Also, chat, I see that there's someone in chat watching. Could you kindly sound off to let us know who you are? Anyway, back to what I was saying about tanks. Anyway, basically, so if Italy were communist, if they went communist in the 20s, they probably could have modernized enough to be a serious threat in the war. But, whatever. Okay. Anyway. But, obviously, Italy would not have the economic capability to really fight such a large war, but that's just the physical elements. What about actual plans, you know? Strategies. When it came to building tanks, what were their ideas? Their plans were not that good either. So, Italy was a victim of this is going to be like last time, right? Syndrome, you know? In other words, they believed that World War II would be just like World War One. They would be mistaken. I looked away for like a solid second. Oops. A lot of countries face the same problem. Italy was the biggest victim of it. One of the biggest victims. Actually, I'd say that France was the biggest since it was a big reason for why they were knocked out of the war. Like, at the beginning. But, whatever. Because, you know, there's an easier way to get to this guy. But I digress. Ow. Thankfully, every time you kill one of these trolls, you get all of your things back. So it's actually very, you know. So it is profitable to just go at it. This is one of the best early game farms, as these are slow enemies that all drop 1,000 runes each time you kill one. And as a result, you can basically sort of, you know, yeah. Hold on, I want to look at some. I'm looking at something. Hold on. Hold on. Let's see. Alright, I'm back. I'm back. By the way, if that has been Nova Claire, who's been our second viewer this whole time, you've been unbanned. I just banned you the first time because you got very... Very... It was like you were trying to sell a product, and I told you no. So if that's you who's watching, then hello. Also, shit, I forgot. I should go grab my... Shit. Anyway, anyway. Italy, in the First World War, they fought on the side of the Allies against the Central Powers. They fought they fought Austria, which means that they fought in the Alps. They also fought a bit in the Balkans, and both of those places have uneven terrain. So Italy was kind of expecting that they would be fighting in similar environments. However, the problem is that they would design tanks based on that. Light tanks that are easy to produce, but also good at climbing up hills, Fast. Can take advantage of such an environment. However, they would not be fighting on the same side. Instead, they'd be fighting on the same side as Germany, and they'd be an ally to Austria. Weird war story to talk about Austria and Germany, and I'll talk about later, but that's for another time anyway. Anyway. This time they would be mainly fighting in North Africa and Eastern Europe, which are both very flat terrains. Thus, a small, very light tank with a very small cannon would not do. And as a result, they basically were knocked out of the war. They were basically incapable of using their own tanks in the war, and were more or less reliant on Germany to provide them with tanks. And then the Allies, once they changed sides, as a result, they definitely had the worst. The incapability to use their own tanks in the war because of that fact. But that leads us to another country that had a rough time with tanks, Japan. Japan was of the belief that they didn't need tanks. Partly because, one, the Japanese army and navy were constantly fighting each other for resources. And while yes, Japan had seen that tanks are important, even if you're an island nation, when they went up against China, Indochina, the Philippines, which had basically little to no tanks of their own. So, yeah. Unfortunately, due to several factors, especially a loss against the Soviets in a small war shortly before World War II, they believed that it was determined that they didn't need tanks. Which is kind of a weird thing because the Soviet Union were able to dominate them just with their light tanks, the BT series. To be fair, up until World War II, there were a lot of generals that believed that tanks were not useful. That they were just a gimmick, a fad, and would not be that important in World War II. So, in other words, most of the resources went to the Navy, and so Japanese tank development was extremely hampered, and in the end, it wouldn't mean anything. Though, obviously, they weren't shit, though. Due to the uneven environments of Asia, of Southern Asia, of Southeast Asia, the Type 97 Ha-Go which was a light tank that was the large majority of their tank forces, was able to do a pretty good job, being able to get to places that the Sherman just couldn't. No, of course, we're still talking about tanks that are behind the times. Only being able to be useful because, due to the element of surprise and the land. And it's not like the enemies, America didn't have a bunch of light tanks of their own. They had a lot, the Stuart. As a result, anyway, the point being, Japan kind of shot themselves in the foot because I think though that they had about the same potential as Germany when it came to tanks, but Germany put all their stuff into tanks, whereas Japan put a lot of it into boats and airplanes. Anyway, as a result, yeah. Now let's move on to some countries that had a lot more, that were a lot better with tanks in the war. So Britain was mostly on the right track, with only two things that really stopped them. One, they lost a lot of tanks at Dunkirk. And two, they were of the belief that you would have two kinds of tanks. Lighter tanks that would have the role of cavalry, and heavier tanks that would go with the infantry. Unfortunately, as a result, they didn't really invest too heavily in medium tanks. As a result, due to the importance of the medium tank, they were kind of screwed for a bit. Partially reliant on American tanks, on American first M3 Lees, then Grants, and then M4 Shermans to fit the role. The importance of the heavy tank is that it would essentially be a faster breakthrough tank, because, breakthrough tanks like heavy tanks would be big, well armored, take a lot of damage, and dish a lot back out conversely. But they were slow, cumbersome, and had some reliability issues. Whereas medium tanks were that with slightly more balanced, I'm really not focusing, am I? Slightly worse, but still really good offense and defense. And, well, I'll have to continue this because we've hit our 2-hour mark. Alright, chat, I'm gonna go visit. I'm gonna go to another guy's stream. Thanks again for coming. I'll see you tomorrow. If this performs well, I'll stream more Elden Ring. See ya!